Hello and welcome to my channel. If you have a Ford Transit, I have a 2018 350 and it's a 3.2 liter diesel, and I have 95,000 miles on it, and the drive belt actually chewed up. So this is something you want to look out for. Right about 90 to 100,000 miles, just keep an eye on your drive belt and just make sure that it's not wearing on the edge. And if it is wearing, what's going to happen is just going to chew up and wrap around your clutch fan. And if that happens, chances are it's going to be your tensioner. So we're going to replace the tensioner, and looks like the life of the tensioner maybe 90, a little bit 90, 95, maybe to 100,000 miles. You want to keep an eye on this. Well, we know how much trouble it is to actually disconnect the battery because it's underneath the driver's seat. So the first thing we want to do, the main thing and the easiest thing, just pull out the ignition key and just put it somewhere, lock it up so no one can actually start the vehicle. First thing we're going to do before we take any parts off, we're just going to make sure all our pulleys turn freely. And you just want to listen for any kind of resistance, bearings, anything in any pulley. So just put your hands on, especially since the belt is off, just turn all your pulleys and just make sure that they all are free before we take off the part that we think that we need to, which is the tensioner. First thing I want to do is just remove this torn belt. You can sometimes spend more time trying to remove this belt than to replace the tensioner. This is what's left of the belt. I finally got it all out. This is the belt that you will be needing, and this is our new tensioner. And it may ask you, the parts department at the Ford dealer may ask you if you need the bolts and the nut. I didn't see any need of needing those parts. I'm just going to reuse the existing bolts. The vehicle only has 93,000 miles on it. Taking off our nut on the bottom stud. Trying to be careful not to drop it. That's the first nut. So I removed the last nut, the one that was on top of the stud. Now I'm going to slide it out. This air cleaner hose is definitely going to have to be loosened and remove. I'm going to have to set it to the side. So I'm actually going to have to take it loose up here and right here at the elbow underneath the alternator. I'm going to use a 7mm to actually remove the clamp on the bottom hose. You definitely have to remove this hose in order to get your tensioner in and out. So it's going to be the air cleaner hose. It goes to the air filter, and this elbow will prevent you from getting the tensioner in and out. So you definitely have to make sure that is moved out the way. All right, we got that out the way, and we can pull our tensioner right on up. Even with the hose out of the way, it's still a little tight. was tight. We're going to go back with our new tensioner, and we're going to go back the way that we took it out. And if you notice, the stud here, we have one stud here that one of the nuts will go on, and we have one that you cannot see is on the inner side near the engine block, and that's going to be the top stud. So those two stubs are for the nuts. I'm going to put in my bolt first because the nuts will be pretty easy to put in because it's on the stud. All right, we got my bolt in, so that's screwed in pretty well. I like the way Ford did that. Go ahead and put my nut in. Best way to put the tensioner on and to actually take it off is to remove that air cleaner hose. But before I put on the air cleaner hose, I decided to put on the dry belt, and that's going to give me more room to actually get my hand down to actually make sure the grooves are lined up for the dry belt. Now, in case you do not have any diagram to go back with to help you to install a dry belt, always start on the crankcase, on the crankshaft pulley, the damper. Start with that, and you're going to have grooves on that, and just work your way around, because we're going to put the belt around the crankcase, the pulley, the damper, and the back side of the hose, back side of the belt will actually ride on the pulley, and we're just gonna follow as we go and wrap around the AC compressor and come back around, and everything will be self-explanatory. But always start on the damper, and that will definitely help you to put your dry belt back in place. You may have to lift your vehicle up just so you can get underneath. All right. Make sure you're wearing safety glasses. I will not get on the vehicle without safety glasses. Make sure you got your belt all in place. Make sure all the grooves are in place. Once the tensioner release, you should be good to go. So we're going to reach down here and actually release that pin. What I have is a breaker bar, half-inch breaker bar with an extension, and if you see the pin down below, right beside it, there's a little small pin, and once I put tension on it, just put pliers on it and actually pull that out. Pull the pin out, and that's all there is to it. Everything looks good, and I believe we're good to go. So now you know how to change your own tensioner. Do not forget to subscribe, and if you like it, give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Take care, and God bless.